What's up? Are y'all ready? Season 2. Let's go.
Wake up, everybody. I just wanna start a new day. Remember what I
What's
said.
up? What's up? What's up? Season 2 starts tonight. Den City tonight. How y'all doing?
Remember what I said.
New theme song. Well, a new variation on the old one.
Remember what I said.
Thought I'd hit you with something different.
Remember what I said.
Yeah. What's up, people? What's going on? Season 2, Den City tonight. Episode 1. I missed y'all. I can't believe that it's been a month already that we've been off the air. And we back and we're gonna do a little some things that are, hopefully gonna be entertaining for everybody. What's been going on? I hope you guys had a good April. I hope you guys had a good beginning of May. A lot of changes, a lot of crazy stuff going on. I am half vaccinated. I got my first shot a couple of weeks ago. The second one's coming soon. A lot of people doing that. A lot of people also now, from what I heard, they're creating fake vaccination cards. So we're doing that now. That's what we're doing. We're creating fake, vaccine IDs so that you can get into places or whatever it is. I guess they're gonna start laminating them or something like that. But that's what we're doing now. We're doing fake vaccines. But I got my second one coming up, pretty soon. So what's been happening? I mean, fortunately, things are starting to get back to normal. I think New York and Jersey and Connecticut are going to open up on the 19th of May. They say they're going to fully open or pretty much fully open. So that's going to be definitely interesting. It is, it's strange now when I went downtown to Times Square a couple of days ago with my daughter, and it was just weird how certain parts were empty and certain parts were trying to get back to normal. So it's moving along. Unfortunately, one of the things that's happening, the normal that we call it, is in this month of April, last month, we had 45 mass shootings. 45 mass shootings. So when we're talking about getting back to normal, unfortunately, that's one of the things that has been the norm for some time. And it's just it's crazy. That's like it's more than one a day. And I'm hoping that people find a way to get past these demons that are having them do certain things. Then in Texas now you got the no permit. They just passed the law. There's no permit, no training needed to have a gun. So this is definitely going to be interesting. Some out there, we're going to be on some Wild West, good and bad and the ugly stuff out there in Texas. Gotta love Texas. But on another note, on a better note, this month of April, damn it, my New York Knicks. My New York Knicks is the 4th seed. They in the 4th place in the Eastern Division, right behind Milwaukee and not Milwaukee. But behind Milwaukee and the Nets and the Sixers. And they're the 4th seed. I mean, I'm so proud of these guys this year. They are doing their thing. They are playing team ball. Thibodeau has them doing all kinds of stuff. Randall Rose found a fountain of youth, and he's doing all kinds of things that he hasn't done in years. Randall is playing out above his head. He's playing crazy above the rim. These young guys are playing above the rim. It's a great season. We had a lot to be proud of. Listen, we ain't gonna win a chip. It's all right. We're not gonna win a chip. It's not happening. I mean, if it did happen, that'd be absolutely amazing. But that's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is we're gonna do well. We're gonna get in the playoffs. Hopefully, maybe we'll come out of round 1. We'll see what happens. Anything above the first round is just gravy. I'm loving it at that point. What's going to be the issue is next year. Next year, because we had a good year this year, the expectations are going to be higher, and then you're going to really see if this team can deal with the pressures of now being expected to win. We weren't expected to win this year. We weren't expected to win anything or do anything, but now you have to deal with the expectations of actually being a good team. in the East. So we'll see. I can't wait for the playoffs to start. There's 4 games left. I think we play LA, LA tomorrow, San Antonio, Charlotte, and then we end the season against Boston. So we should at least be 500 on that, if not better. Definitely got to see the LA game tomorrow. See if LeBron makes an appearance because he knows he's playing against the Knicks. That's our last road game. Coming back it's been really interesting taking this time off. There's a lot of preparation that goes into doing what seems to be just sitting down and talking, but I want to have topics. I want to have things that interest you guys, that make you want to stay in and see what I'm doing and come back the next week. I had a title of the show today. The title of the show is called "Do for Love," and you might think that I'm going to sit here and I'm going to speak about the emotional roller coaster that people go through when they're in a partnership and the love that they should. But I'm not talking about that. This is something different. This means what I'm going to talk about today is sometimes the crazy things that you do, just to make sure that you and your partner get to where you said you wanted to be. Sometimes things go so left and you end up doing things together that you never thought you would do just to get the prize that you say you want, which is, maybe sometimes marriage, which is sometimes, whatever it is. It is always crazy to see what you might be willing to do when you're in a relationship. Hey, just saying hello to my number one fan, Mr. William Lopez. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate that. You are somebody I can count on, buddy. I tell you that much. I love it. Have your comments. We also still have our number to contact us. It's going to flash on the screen, 732-955-4931. Later on, I'll see if I can take a couple of calls and see if you want to tell me about what you would do for love or what you may have done for love. But I'm going to tell you a story. And first of all, I had to ask my wife for permission to tell this story because I didn't want no smoke. I didn't want no smoke. And sometimes I'm known for sharing a little too much. Very social person, as you can see. And so my wife would be like, yeah, like when we moved to Queens, the first time we moved to Whitestone, I had on Instagram, on Facebook, I had a big picture of the front of our house. And she was like, take it down right now. I don't need nobody knowing where I live. And she's right. I don't know who's watching us. Somebody finding out where our address is and like, oh, thanks a lot. You let me know exactly what your house looks like. So yeah, I could be known for sharing a little too much. However, because she knows that I'm trying to make this show interesting and trying to get people to engage and relate, we'll tell you a little story about just before we got married, and how we were willing to do just about anything to make sure that we got married, and we were going to make sure this happened because we told everybody it was going to happen, so we had to make sure it was happening. Let's take it back though to 1992. 1992, I am a young man, moved back to his dad's house, had an interesting experience out of my own, ended up moving back to my dad's house in 1992, and my then girlfriend, Vivian, it's New Year's Eve. It is New Year's Eve. It is 11:57 p.m. We're watching Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve. It was just before Dick Clark was no longer able to do that because after that, like a couple of years later, he had the stroke and he tried, but it just wasn't working. And so it was kind of like one of his last years doing the Rockin' Eve. And we're watching the show and it's 11:59 and we're doing the countdown. And I turned to her at that point and I pull out the engagement ring. Yeah, I was smooth like that. I pulled out the engagement ring at 11:59 on New Year's Eve. And I'm like, will you marry me? And she's like, oh my God, yes, I'll marry you. And it was all romantic. It was mad romantic and all that stuff. All that stuff was in the movies. And that was probably the last, rom-com situation that we had for a long time after that, because we definitely, at least we struggled. We ended up moving into a basement apartment up in the Soundview section of the Bronx. That's where we met what became to be my wife's best friend, Mary Ann Brown, who is no longer with us, passed away in 2013. God rest her soul. But we ended up moving into a basement apartment of this Italian family, the last Italian family on a block that used to be all Italian, which is now they were like the last Italian family. And, they kind of adopted us as their other kids. Marianne and her grandmother would invite us upstairs to have these huge Italian meals that were like 4 courses and coffee and dessert. It was crazy, but we loved it. But we lived there. We lived in a basement apartment. And 2 years go by, and we're like, okay, it's 1994. It's time we do this. We're going to get married. We're going to make this right. We're going to make this legal and legit so the families could all be happy. So we're doing it. We're planning for the wedding. And let's just say, weddings are expensive, and we didn't even have that like wedding, like, that wasn't happening. The 2 Puerto Rican kids from the projects wasn't having that type of wedding. We were just trying to have a wedding. So we get, to the point where we're like, yo, what are we gonna do? This is crazy, So we're figuring out, we're trying to scrimp money together, and it gets to the point, and I'm trying to remember if we did this before my dad got sick, because 1994 was the year that my dad passed away. He passed away actually 2 months before I got married. And needless to say, it was a very, very very difficult, to say the least, thing to deal with at that time. And I'm really not sure if I did this, or we did this because of that, because we wanted to make sure. So, bear with me. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that. That was like 26 years ago. I'm surprised that I can remember what I did yesterday. So we go and we're like, we got no money. We're not going to be able to finish this. And I don't know how we're going to do this. Things are expensive. And, I have somebody trying to call me right now. Alex, try to call me back in a few minutes. If I stop telling this story, I'm not going to, be able to remember it later. And I'm going to have like old-timers, not Alzheimer's, old-timers. Try me back in a little bit. When I put up the call number, that is when you call, not prior to that, okay? Got to follow the instructions, bro. When I put up the call screen, then you, at that point, okay? All right. So we're going to, we're like, I don't know, how we're going to do this. And a friend of ours, well, the brother to a friend of ours, lets us know. He's like, look, if you guys are really in the right spot for money, right? I got somebody that can help you out. And we're like, okay, what do you mean? Like, well, how can you do that? So he tells us, he goes, look, I got this guy, this is not funny. I'm not changing his names, to protect the innocent. His name was Frank. He's like, I got a guy named Frank, and he could take care of you. Now, I'm not trying to be stereotypical. Please forgive me if that's how it comes across. It was, like I said, it was our adoptive Italian family from the Bronx. And he goes, like, a guy named Frank, we can take care of you. I'm like, okay, so is he like a loan shark? And he's like, well, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he is. And, he's a nice dude, of course. I mean, as long as you're paying back. But I'm just saying, if you really need to do that, I could set you up with this guy. So we're like, I don't know, that's crazy. But we're at our wits' end. We 2 kids from the Bronx. We both didn't finish high school. We working. We're trying to do the best that we can. We're trying to do things right. We're like, listen, you with me on this? And she's like, I'm with you. Viv is my ride or die. She's whatever's going to work for us as a unit that's going to get us to where we got to go. She's ready, as long as we're both willing to do it. And she's like, all right, let's do it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I talk to my friend, and we tell him, okay, set us up to meet this guy. We're ready to do it. He's like, you sure? He's like, yeah. We're like, yeah, we're sure. We're sure. So we go, and he sets up the meeting, and we go over to Eastchester Road in the Bronx, up by Pelham Parkway. So that's where this guy's office is. His office turns out to be like a deli. He owns a deli, and you walk by. It's a beautiful deli. It's not like some shady little hole in the wall. It's not like I'm going to a weed spot or something like that. I am going to a well put together deli on Eastchester Road in the Bronx. And I walk in, and he's there, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? How's it going?" My friend, who's a name I don't want to use, but my friend, Mickey. Let's just say his name is Mickey. He said you're a good guy, and I should help you out. So I'm like, yeah. Now I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. I don't remember how much money we borrowed. I don't. It wasn't a crazy amount, obviously, because I'm still alive. But it was an amount that probably, if we had more time to think about it, we would have been like, shit, this is crazy. We're not doing it. But, we're young at the time. We're like 23, 24. We just finished, like I said, spending 2 years living together, and we want to get this done. I'm thinking that, I'm thinking one of the reasons we're doing this is because we want to make sure that my family has something to be thankful for, to be happy for. And if we weren't able to pull this off, we would just be left with the fact that my father passed away in 1994 and nothing else to celebrate. So I really believe that was one of the reasons that we were on this mission. So we go get this money from Frank. Frank is like, look, listen, I need weekly payments, okay? You could do this weekly, or actually you could do it bi-weekly. But bi-weekly is more interest, so I would suggest the weekly payments. It keeps it down. Now this guy's a big. I'm trying to see who I could compare him to. Look at, he's a big Italian guy, dark hair, thick mustache, very serious face, and not an ominous guy, but definitely a guy that you would say that he doesn't look like he takes a lot of crap. So let's not mess with Frank. But Frank is cool. And he's like, "Oh, your name is Frank too." He's like, "Oh, great, fantastic." And he's, we do the transaction. He gives me the envelope. I feel like I'm in some type of movie. I'm looking for the FBI agents to come running through the door like, "Freeze," and that doesn't happen. He gives me the envelope. Okay. Tells you what the payments are. I go home. Now, we're like, all right, let's do it. Because, unlike most couples that get into debt after the wedding, we were like, shit, fuck it. We're going to get into debt before the wedding. And we're going to figure it out as we go. So we do what we got to do. We get the stuff together, and, I'm making payments week by week. I'm like, this isn't so bad. But as you know, in life, when you think everything is going just the way it's supposed to, things happen. And suddenly you find yourself behind on your loan shark payments, trying to figure out how the hell you are going to make this work without ending up, somewhere in a ditch or with your legs or arms broken or fingers broken because, Tommy came to give you a visit to give you some inspiration on how to get this done. So I go. Now, see, I have to give myself this much credit. As scared as I was to be behind on payments, I was like, the dude was on he was on the up and up as much as he could be for a person who was doing criminal activity. But I'm going to go down there and I'm going to tell him, listen, man, I don't got the money this week. I don't know what I'm going to do. Can you give me a break? And that's a poor choice of words, right? Can you give me a break? Can you assist me with this? And meanwhile, Tommy or whatever the name I gave to the guy who put us in it, he's like, yo, I'm not in this. Dude, I told you, if you don't make the payments, I don't know what to do. But you see, I've come to realize over the years that this smile and these dimples and this character that I do perhaps, I kind of have, it does come in handy. People tend to like me. And I guess that's a good thing. Especially in this situation, it's a good thing. So I go down there. I get there. I get around the corner though. And I'm like, the store is closed today. I'm like, all right, the store is closed, but wow, it looks like the store is like closed, like really closed. I don't see any new stuff. I don't see any people there. The lights are out. It looks, you can tell the difference between when the store is empty and when the store is like no longer in business. So what happened was, which I found out later, is that Frank got raided. He got raided. He literally, the jokes that I was making about the FBI coming in and raiding the place, that actually happened to this man on Eastchester Road in the deli. He got raided by the police. I think it was FBI, or it might have been like a task force or something. And basically, they shut him down. They took all his books. They took all his paperwork. They took all his extra cash. Um, he ended up not doing jail time. I'm pretty sure about that, but they took all his stuff, so he had no record of me or anyone else that still owed him money. And that's the reason why I think like 2 weeks had passed by without me paying, and I didn't hear anything from him. I didn't hear anything from him at all. So I'm thinking, I got the loan shark with the heart of gold. But no, I just got the loan shark that just got busted. So he's not following up with anybody. So a couple more weeks go by, and I don't know. I guess I have this streak of honor of wanting to do the right thing by people that looked out for me. So I think I hear from my friend that he's back up and running. And I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna see him. And it's as crazy as it sounds, it's almost like I'm putting myself back in the position of owing someone that I was free and clear of. I don't know if you can understand that. I don't know if you can really understand why I would do that. But I just felt that if I didn't do that, it may come back to haunt me in another way. So I go down there and I see him and the store's back up open. And I'm like, Frank. And he's like, Frank? He's like, you Frank, you the guy from he was like, I know, yeah, I know you. The guy that Tommy brought over here. I was like, yeah. He goes, what are you doing here? I said, well, I wanted to finish off my payment. And he gives me this look. He gives me this look like he's like, are you effing kidding me? Like right now, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I wanted to finish my payment because um I just, you helped me out. I said I was gonna pay. I'm gonna keep my word and I'm gonna finish off my payment for you. So he looks at me, he goes, man, you know what? I don't have no books. I don't do that anymore. He was like, I don't even want to get back into that because it was something that I did for several years, but I'm just I don't want to have that hassle. I don't have my books. I don't even know how much you owe me. Don't worry about it. You keep your money, and just know that I appreciate the fact that you were man enough to come here face to face and be willing to do that, because you could have put yourself back in debt again, and who knows how much interest I would have charged you for all this time that has passed by. And I remember that walking out of there and going home and telling Viv, this is what happened. And it's crazy, God puts you in front of people sometimes and you don't know why. I mean, who the hell would have thought or would have, imagined that we were gonna go to some loan shark guy that was gonna give us money trying to do, for ourselves, for our family, for the love that we have for each other, that we're willing to go through this madness and actually not have to end up, you know, paying that money back for whatever reasons. And it's just weird because we were talking about that, or actually we hadn't discussed that for years, and I was telling her that I wanted my first topic when I was coming back to be about what people might be willing to do when they're in love with someone, what people might be willing to do when they want to share their life with someone. They're willing to probably overcome just about any obstacle that is put in front of them, and find a way to get it done. And I don't know if that's a rarity in life. I don't know if that is something that doesn't happen every day, or obviously people don't go to loan sharks for their wedding every day. That's definitely a rarity. But what I do know is that when two people are in a relationship and they're both willing to do the work, no matter what that work may be, There's not a lot of things that can stop them from doing what they want to do. There's not a lot of things that can keep them from achieving what they want to achieve. Not every road is like legal. No, not every road is the simple road or the usual road, but it's a road. It's a road that you choose to travel on. And we were willing to do this because we felt that we can get it taken care of. We needed to um it's we needed to do this for everyone. It was something that needed to get done. I wanna I wanna put this comment up that my brother-in-law is putting here, and it says folks need to understand that love means it's used today in many ways. uh Examples are love him to death or love her because she's my baby's father, mother. The $1 million question is, do you just love, or are you in love? Therefore, what would you do for love? Which type of love? He's sorry for the long dissertation. You've been around a few times around the block. Yes, you have been around a few times around the block, and in a good way, because you and my sister have been married for 46 years. Is it 46 years? I believe you just made this past April 19th. And those people right there, that guy who just left that long dissertation, is one of the reasons and one of my role models when it comes to families and you know uh couples, married couples. They're like the go-to guys. Like, they've been together forever. They've been through everything. They got their kids. Their kids have kids. And if I was gonna pattern myself after anybody, it would definitely be those two, because they've done it for a long time and they've done it right. And again, I told this story because people do use that word, and they throw it around a lot, and they throw it around as a noun to describe something. I love that person. I love this person. I'm in love with that person, and they use it as a noun to describe their feeling. But only the people who really, really understand how to make it work use it as a verb, because it's a verb. It's an action word. It is not just. Um, it is not just to say. You have to do. If you love someone, you love them. Um, whether it's by whatever love language that works for you or works for them. I talk about this book called The Five Love Languages that tells people that some people, everyone has a different way where they receive love, and everyone has a different way that they give love. And you might be a person that likes words of affirmation. You might be a person that likes, deeds. You might be a person that likes affection, likes to touch. Finding out what your partner's love language is one of the keys to being able to sustain this relationship. And understanding that love is not just a word, it's a verb, it's an action, it is something that you do, not just something that you say, is so important. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of young people that are coming up, they think that the first altercation or the first um bump in the road that they get is it. It's like, oh, that's it. I can't, no. But love and relationships are a series of bumps in the road, as again, uh, you know, Will says, deal with the challenges, bumps in the road. It's a series of bumps in the road. When you're driving on the highway and you're going cross country, you're gonna have road stretches that are smooth and everything's gonna be great. And then you're gonna have stretches that are bumpy. So what do you stop? You stop the trip? You don't stop the trip. You don't just say, okay, we're off the smooth pavement, we're on bumpy road. Oh, that's it. Get out the car. We're done. Nah, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. And you hope that the car that you've chosen, is a car that can get you through those bumps. And you can compare that car to uh, your relationship. What's sustaining you? What's carrying you forward? What is the work you put in? What kind of gas do you use? How often do you kick the tires or do a tune up, change the oil? If you don't do those things to vehicle, your vehicle is not going to take you anywhere. And if you don't do those things to your relationship is not going to take you anywhere. So what are you willing to do for love? Um, it's an interesting question. It's a I've heard stories where people do things that are out of character. People do things that are unhealthy. It could be unhealthy things that you do as well, but it's just understanding um, what it is in you and what it is in your partner that make things work. It's funny because I hadn't thought about that story for so long. I just remember, the days and the times of worrying about those couple of weeks where we were like, yo, I gotta get this money together, get to this guy. And then, the look on his face when I went back, even though I didn't have to, was very memorable as well. I'm pretty sure there wasn't guys knocking down the door to get back in debt. But we had the wedding. We did the wedding. Um, and I'll tell you another thing about the wedding. My wife was going nuts trying to get me involved in certain things. I didn't know, she wanted me to look at the dresses, and I'm trying to, get excited about that aspect. I was excited about, being married, but I was like, oh, that's whatever you want to do, whatever you want. So I remember one day when I really just I went over the top over something. I remember one day we were looking at dresses and stuff like that for the bridesmaids, and I passed by this store. It was a tuxedo store, and in the window was a poster of these five guys, and they had on these different colored blazers. I guess it was the '90s, so I was into cross colors and stuff like that. I even have like a video of me performing in one of my groups, and we're wearing all these different colors. But anyway, they it's like it was a red blazer, it was a blue blazer, a royal blue, black, yellow, green, and they had the blazers and they had cream pants and it was cream lapels, and I was like, that's crazy. That is amazing. Viv, look, and she's looking at me like, what? And I'm like, look at that. Think about that. We can do that. And then we can have the bridesmaid dresses be also cream. And then that color that matches, the groomsmen, and then the bridesmaid, they could take off. And she looked at me and I'm thinking that she's going to go, whatever. But that's not what she did. She didn't go, whatever. She didn't say no. She said, finally, this dude is actually participating in this, and I'm going to run with it because if he likes it, and we're gonna find a way to make it work. And that's what we did. We had this rainbow kind of a wedding. I mean, it sounds crazy. If you see the pictures, it's beautiful. But we wrote up this whole poem where each color represented something different. I can't even off the top of my head. I feel I don't feel terrible because it is again 26 years ago. But they all represented a different emotion or a different type of uh, meaning for that color. And it was great. The flower arrangements were like the colors, and if you see the pictures, when you see them together, and you actually, especially the pictures that we took in Central Park, it was perfect. It was like we were like a living bouquet of flowers, just on the lawn, and being being great, being full of joy on that day. And I appreciate her for tolerating me, and helping me get through that part where I was trying to find something to connect to, in the whole process of putting it together. And she allowed me to do that, and then we ran with it, and I think it was great. Um, so yeah, so it's it's just finding what makes it work, what makes it work for you. If anybody wants to call in, Alex, I don't know if you're still watching, but 732-955-4931, 732-955-4931. If you want to share something about something you did or something you wouldn't do in a relationship, what would you do for love? What have you done, You know, did you act a fool? Did you embarrass yourself? Did you, build something for someone? Whatever it is that you may have done. I mean, if you want to call in for that, that would be great to share that story. And if not, that's cool too. Like I said, I just wanted to come back. I came back to, I have missed talking with you guys. And we got a great audience this time. And it's not, I never expect like, hundreds of people. That's just not what we're doing. We're not there yet. But I have a good amount of people sitting this time. And it makes me feel good to know that you guys have come back. Maybe a couple of you are here for the first time. But this is something that I want to keep doing. It's something that I want to keep sharing. I really want it to be interactive. I really want people to call in and share stories and share opinions. I'm sharing gas right now. It's not cool. We are going to go back in the next week or so, having guests again. Trying to put together a really, really entertaining line of guests. And now that we're getting back somewhat normal as far as this COVID is concerned, I actually feel okay if people are, if the people I have are coming with vaccinated, but I really want to try to get a live performance here. I have a big area over here that I could fit a small band in, and we could really, really do something nice and something special on one of these episodes. So that's something I'm going to try to set up. Even if it's somebody doing poetry or doing an acting scene, I want it all. I want all the smoke. I want anybody who's talented, anybody who is willing to put themselves out there and wants a platform that they can tell their friends to come and watch. Maybe we're not ready to go back to clubs yet. Maybe we're not ready to go back to, bars and stuff, but we can come here, you can perform, or you can tell all your people, I'm going to be on Den City tonight and I'm going to do 3 songs and I want y'all to check it out. And I hope you do just that. We are pretty much at the end of this episode. I want to thank everybody who's watching right now. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming out or coming to your living room or wherever it is that you're watching this from. And, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed that story. I hope you enjoyed that sentiment. Please come back next week. Next week, we're going to do it again. I don't know what the title of the show is going to be. Pay attention during the week. I will give you some promos and some uploads or upgrades, whatever it is, and let you know what's going on. Maybe we'll have a guest, but you'll find out about it shortly. Oh, hold on a second.
Call from David from Staten Island. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Who's this? Who's on the air? Hello? Hello? Hello, you're on the air. Hello? I don't know what's going on. Hello, you're on the air. Alice, you called me 3 times. 3 times and now I'm trying to talk to you and I can't hear you. What's going on? Hello? Oh, man. I don't know what happened there. Let me see if my connection is right. My connection is right. Are you dialing the right number, Alex? Oh, obviously, because the phone rang. Well, I'm going to try and give you 2 more minutes to give me a call. That number again is 732-955-4931. 732-955-4931. And I'm going to start getting people to call here. You guys are going to start calling. I'm going to start sharing these stories and opening up because that's what it's about right now. Too much crazy stuff happening in the world. We only got each other. So we need to start making sure that we tell our stories, we share our hopes and all that good stuff. And I will be here next week and every week, every Monday, unless, of course, I have a job that changes my schedule. Oh, one more time. All right. Hello.
Call from
Alex from the Bronx.
To accept, press 1.
Hello.
Yo, what's up, man?
Alex from the Bronx is on the air with Den City tonight. What is good, my brother?
First time caller, long time listener.
You haven't been listening this time long. What's up, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man.
Listen, you know damn well I be officially on Facebook jail 24/7, bro.
That's because you don't know how to act.
Contribute to your show because I'm wearing prison stripes.
That's because you don't know how to act on Facebook. That's what it is. That's what I think you try to look for different levels, see what
Listen,
can get
man,
you banned.
takes one to know one, I guess.
So what's up, man?
Not much, man. Yo, man, I just wanted to talk to you, man. How you feeling about the Bozio, man?
You
think his administration has been good to New York City, man? I've been in New York. I went to the Bronx yesterday, and it's looking like back in the days in the 80s over there, man. I'm seeing graffiti all over the place, homeless people all over the place.
I think de Blasio's time is time to go. It's crazy because New York. I mean, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so if it's going back to that time, it's bad. I haven't been to the Bronx now, I don't know how long. But it's time for New York to get some new blood. That's what I think. It's time for it to get some new blood, and hopefully find a middle ground where we're not just allowing all kinds of things to happen, but then we're not overkilling with certain things too. Got to find a middle ground. We got to get the city back to where it is. Although I'm not there anymore, I'm in Jersey. So
no, I hear you. I'm not there anymore either.
Where you at now?
State.
You are.
I'm upstate. I'm in Trump country, bro.
Oh, me too. Me too. I got the guy standing on the side of the highway with the Trump flags. I'm like, okay.
I got one better for you. My next door neighbor has a Donald Trump flag flying all over the place still.
Oh man.
And a sign saying Biden's an idiot.
You're gonna have it, man. It's gonna.
You know me, man. I worked on Hillary's campaign in Pennsylvania, bro, and I never even attempted to put any my political views all over the place, man. But my man,
it's a different breed, baby. That's a different breed right there.
I feel like one time I said, "Yo, where were you on January the 6th? Were you in DC?"
Nah, he was. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you saw when I had the cops from DC on. Early last season, I had two cops from my boy Mo and another guy that works for DC Metro, and they were telling me about that. They were like, it was just bananas over there during that whole time. Just incredibly crazy. And they said that even all the things that we did see on the videos, it still didn't do it justice for being there. It was just mad. It was just mad. But bro, thank you, man. Thank you for calling. Me, you and the Reebster, we gotta I don't even know the last time that I even saw you guys face to face.
I don't know, man. I mean, me either. But it's crazy out there, man. From all these dirt bikes out there riding around like DMX is still living, and freaking bicycles like these delivery bicycles,
right.
Like going crazy all over the place, man. Who you got as who you favoring as the new mayor? You got a pick?
I don't have a pick. Andrew. I don't know if Andrew Yang is seriously considering that. I don't know. I forget the woman's name, the black woman that has the braids. I forget her name. To be honest with you, I have tried the last year to really try to distance myself from so much politics. I looked at my Facebook and my Instagram feeds, right? And there's this one section where there's just nothing but me being angry. It's just me being angry post. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. That's not me. I'm not that type of dude that's always mad. But I'm looking through my timeline. I'm like, dude, I was wilding during that time. I just was mad at everybody. So I said, you know what? I kind of gotta just disconnect from that a little bit. I try to go back. Of course, I'm trying to keep track of stuff, but I haven't really decided to look into who would be the right candidate for that. Whoever's going to do that job got a lot of stuff coming for them, boy. They have all.
Yeah.
I am. I don't envy the person that gets it, but it needs not to be De Blasio. He needs to go. That much I definitely, that much I can definitely say without any type of my niece just said, she put it, Maya Wiley. That's the woman who's been running. She's been a correspondent a lot on CNN. She's been involved in a lot of their interviews and their takes during the Trump administration. So yeah, Maya Wiley. I don't want to say that I would, just because I know her, I don't want to say that be the person. He said Yang don't ring my ying. He's so, oh, you're crazy.
Yo, Yang is still Yang is still on that R train heading to the Bronx.
Yeah, he's still talking about, what's he talking about? Talking about the Knicks and Yankees. All of a sudden he's a Knicks and Yankees. I hate when people do that. That I hate.
No, bro. He was literally on the R. He posted on his social media that he was like, I think on the R train, I think it was, and he was heading to the Bronx. And I'm freaking carpetbagger, bro.
Well, maybe he was like, I'm gonna get off the train at Times Square. Then I'll get the train to the Bronx. I'm gonna go to 59th Street and catch the 6. Nah, but I can't. I can't stand when they start. Oh, I'm a Knicks fan. Like, dude, seriously? No, you're not. Cut it out. Don't do that. Just say what you gotta say. Don't start kowtowing.
Name me one player.
Exactly. Name me a player from 5 years ago. Not even a current player. Name me a player from the 90s.
No, I'll challenge him right now. I just name me a player right now.
I was talking about, when I came on, I was talking about them. I mean, like I said, we ain't gonna win no chip, but I'm proud of them this year, man. See what they do in the playoffs.
Know, man. I'm kind of like maybe the Brooklyn guy, the Brooklyn borough president might be a good look. We need somebody that knows what the city actually in detail needs.
Definitely,
not carpetbaggers from out of the city or out of the state or whatever.
Definitely you don't need somebody who's just faking the funk. Who's just trying to say the right things. You need somebody that knows the city, that understands it, and understands that it's going to take a lot of work to get us out of whatever funk that it is that we're in. It's going to take a lot of work, and it may not happen in one term, but they got to at least lay the groundwork on getting, things done. Brother, I am out of here.
And by the way,
yeah,
what you were discussing before,
right?
There's a perfect song that you will know, and it's by Kara Swan.
What song is that?
Love is a powerful thing.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Powerful word. Absolutely,
man. And it's I have no qualms talking about it or saying how much importance it has in this life. I have no problem telling you I love you, and it's a word that needs to be understood, and it needs to be recognized and understood for the power that it has, because it is very powerful.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
I'll talk to you later, brother.
You got it, man.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
Be strong.
Thanks, baby. Later. That was my man, Alex. Alex and I, we've talked about this before. We go back a lot of years, loss prevention, and just friends in general, hanging out. Shout out to my man Kareeb Hill, who is the one who introduced me and Alex to each other. Wish him well, man. And again, this has been a great. It's been a great comeback. I can't ask for anything more. I got to call in. I got to tell a story. I got to laugh. I got to see, different people leaving comments, and I'm loving it. I'm loving all of it. So again, I will see you guys next week, 8:00 Monday night, Den City Tonight. We're gonna have episode 2. One love, baby. Thank you.
Wake up, everybody.